Okay. Thanks, Laura. I call teacher calling your students to order here. All right, ready? Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the June 12th, 2023 meeting of the Hampden Board of Selectmen to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being held live in the Townhouse Auditorium. We are also broadcasting over Zoom and recording the meeting. Is there anyone else recording the meeting? Seeing none, let's move right along. We have the minutes of May 15th to review. Let's hop to the OneDrive. We met with the advisory committee to go in the treasurer, accountant to go over the end of year status, if you will, before town meeting. After town meeting, pardon me. Vacancy discussion. Park and Rec. Pickleball. Don, you were going to look into a pickleball course, weren't you? You really get into it?
A training course for us, yes. Yeah.
How's that going?
Fine.
Great.
I still don't know how to get those pickles in a jar, though. But.
All right then.
All right, Dad.
County retirement. And of course, this is when the board officially voted. Officially voted that we were not endorsing the increase requested by, did the retirement board request it, or who actually requested it?
The retirement board requested an additional 2% increase.
So from the 3 that was already set up it to 5.
Right.
And we
said no.
Made a motion to it. We're all opposed. And
yeah.
Bob, you sent a letter to that effect.
I did.
Okay.
Twice.
All right. There you go.
On the this is just a minor thing, but Ed and Laura Solano Ra to get out. Okay, they're planning on October 21st, Saturday. Ra, they thought of a chili cook-off. That's the chili with an I, not as in the country with an E.
They have some incredible cuisine down there.
They do.
I don't think that might not be a bad
So you think
idea.
That's Chile, isn't it?
Yeah. Chilean food cook-off, is that it?
Llama, the whole bit, yeah.
Dalton's recording, he just joined. Dalton is recording, he just joined.
Well, he missed that part. But.
All right.
So with that modification, Don, could I get a motion?
Clarification. So moved to approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Chile. Right, and we have Connie Witt who'd like to speak with us. I'd rather you come up here. Do these mics work?
They do.
Great.
We'll see.
Connie, good to see you.
You just want to turn that one on, Connie, and push it towards you.
Button. Turn it to me and bring it so you can speak in. You gotta keep it kind of close to you. Yeah, good.
There you are. Just like on the match game. Gene Rayburn, how are you?
Right.
I
I have come to the Board of Selectmen this evening, and hello, everyone. I've come to the Board of Selectmen this evening because on June 25th,
on behalf of the Historical Commission or on your own?
it's actually on my own, the Cemetery Commission was asked by the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum if it would be all right to place a brass marker on Robert Sessions' grave. And you're very familiar with the Sessions family. And Robert Sessions was a participant in the Boston Tea Party, and there were only about 112 total participants. And he was working in Boston at the time went home to Pomfret because he probably would have been hung if he was captured, and eventually moved to Hampden. Not too long after he served in the Revolutionary War. So anyway, on June 25th at 11 a.m., the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum will place a marker on his grave. And I thought that it would be nice if there were some town representatives there. And I would like to have one of the selectmen speak. And because of your association with the Sessions family, John, I was hoping maybe it could be you. I'm trying.
Do we have to bring the tea back or just?
No, but if you have extra tea and you want to donate it, you can send it to the Boston Tea Party Museum, and they are going to replicate the event. And I think it's December 16th was the original tea party, and they're going to throw the tea into Boston Harbor. So anyway, but that has nothing to do with us. That's Boston. But this does, and because he lived in Hampden, the second house that he built in Hampden is still extant. It's 300 Wilbraham Road. The kids live there now. And I thought he did so much for the town. He served in just about every office, and continuing generations of Sessions were quite prominent in town and served the town and the state,
And of course,
and
remember Miss Sessions, who donated the building as well,
of course
so on.
Elizabeth Sessions. Right?
Connie, where's his grave?
It's in Old Cemetery, and the stone had been, John will remember when we did, and you will too, Jane, when the Historical Commission, the town, we had a public-private restoration of Old Cemetery. We researched every possible veteran, identified all of the veterans, got a nice Excel sheet with all of the graves and blah, blah, blah. And we, using CPA money, we restored many of the stones with a stone conservator who was approved by Mass Historical Commission. And Robert Sessions didn't die until 1836, which is pretty long life. And his stone was marble, which was popular in the 1830s, and it had just crumbled. There were 5 pieces of it, maybe. And the conservator said, it is irreparable. And Molly Pruitt, who is a direct descendant of Robert Sessions, who lives in Texas, paid to have the monument replicated. So there's a nice stone there now for him, and he has an SAR marker and all of that, and there was a flag. I went up there a couple of weeks ago, and there was a flag there. I'm sorry, but I've been sick, and so if my voice is a little, I'm sorry.
So the
for that.
event is where?
It's at Old Cemetery. It'll be right at the monument. And I emailed back we've been emailing for a couple of weeks, maybe a month now. Molly has agreed that a marker can go on it. In fact, she's quite pleased with that. And she will not be coming. She's 93, doesn't travel anymore. So, but I would like to have some of our town officials, including our selectmen, just say a few words, a minute or two. Once the Boston Museum does their thing, if we could have a few people. And it's kind of hard now I don't know who the veterans agent
Well, I
is.
was just going to suggest that because A, being a veteran for him, And also, the equipment they had at the Memorial Day, you know, the speaking, microphone, et cetera, was quite good. I would bet you tell them the, you know, the reference, the relevance between the two, they could bring that there, which would be a
So
tremendous
you're,
boon.
you're talking about what equipment, the sound equipment
Yes.
that they had?
Yeah.
Well, I'm imagining that the Boston Tea Party is going to bring their
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah.
They have actually their own boutique. They've hired some boutique public relations firm. I mean, it's Boston. So,
Don, get their card.
Probably have it.
so anyway, the VFW is going to participate. They have, I guess, chosen Glenn Trevelyan to speak. And besides the selectmen, I was also thinking that it might be a nice gesture, and I wanted to put this before you guys, to invite the Wilbraham selectmen, because this was a part of Wilbraham then. He served, you know, or served the town of Wilbraham, basically, as town clerk, and I think 5 terms as rep on the general court, and, you know, he was a hardworking man.
Okay. Well, short notice, but I'm sure we can get something done. Bob, if you wouldn't mind putting this down again for next week, so we do a follow-up on what's happening. Maybe reach out to Nick and see if Wilbraham has been invited, or let's let Glenn do that. I mean, he should be the one, right?
Well, I'm thinking the selectmen, that I would invite the selectmen to come on the part of the town of Hampden.
Sure.
To be included, because
Okay.
I just thought it would be a nice gesture.
Great, no, it's very nice.
Also, I didn't,
Don, open the gate so they can get in on that day, please. Thank you.
oh, there's no gate.
Yes, there is.
There's a gate there now?
Between
No,
Hampden and
between Hampden
Wilbraham, yeah.
yes.
Oh, between, oh,
Hollow Road, they gotta come
all
your way.
right.
That's good. Connie, I wanted to ask one other thing. During the
Sure.
ceremony, I know you've mentioned in the past about redoing the statue, and it seems like repointing some of the plaques on the side.
The stone conservator who did the work in Old Cemetery also did the repointing and leveling of the statue. And as of the time that he did it, there may be something new, but there wasn't really anything that was going to prevent those stones from spalling. Evidently, that kind of marble is just prone to it.
No, but not, well, again, just a list of names. You know, a couple of them are good because of different weathering patterns, but some
Right.
facing, can they be replaced?
Well, I have a job that I'm going to hire Jonathan Appel, the stone conservator for, and I can ask him about that.
To me, it seemed like something that would easily be qualified by CPA.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
positively.
And just standing up there was some of, a
Yeah,
couple
I
sides, you
know.
could barely read the names.
I know
The
it
south
is.
side seemed good, so.
And that's, it's odd because that's the sunny side, you know, it really gets the heat of the sun, but
Yeah, I'm thinking this, I don't know if it's the sun doing or the weather, you know, wearing it down.
well, it's probably a combination of many factors.
Anyhow, that'd be great. I mean, reach
Okay,
out to Doug and maybe that's something we can bring forth. either in the
okay,
fall or
I
spring.
will do that. I'll get him to either tell me no,
board
it
feel
can't
good
be
with that?
done,
Yeah,
or
yes, right, yeah.
And you're looking for new
Okay.
members as well, aren't you? For the
I'm
Historical Commission?
the commission is.
You're
what-
looking for new members, aren't you?
Yes, we would love new members. I've just been tired.
Mm.
And I haven't really paid the attention to the commission that it deserves.
Are they
So-
flagging all the graves, or is this just a special event for?
No, no, there are flags on all of the veterans' graves,
Mhm.
and they're replaced every Memorial Day.
Right.
So his flag will be there. There's a bronze SAR marker which holds the flag, which is really nice. And then the marker will go on the other side. The V is, I suggested that they bring the wreath that Garden Club paid for, that you use at the ceremony on Memorial Day, or the V does. And so I'm hoping maybe they can have that there too.
Oh, I meant, are they flagging the graves of every Tea Party participant?
Oh, yes.
In various parts
Yes,
of
they are.
Massachusetts and beyond?
Yes, and they have done some in Western Massachusetts. And so far, everyone has given permission except one grave that's in Canada. And they can't get permission. And when we did the cemetery project, I attempted to find out, what do we do about French and Indian War veterans who served the British? And I didn't know, are we supposed to place a British flag to recognize their service? And I must have tried 3 or 4 different British agencies, and no one answered me.
Interesting. I do want to thank Don Talbot for the work he did on flagging the graves for Memorial Day. I think anyone who visited up there, both either cemetery, saw a pretty good sign of respect to those who really serve this country. And again, Don and the VFW did a great job.
Connie, is
Not you, different Don.
Robert Sessions the only one that participated in the Tea Party from Hampden?
Oh, yeah.
Just the only one around here?
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure 112,
Yeah.
and most of them were
Local.
from Boston, and the reason he was here is because of the other people in Western Massachusetts. They just moved here after the Tea Party or after the war,
Good.
the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, that war.
Can I ask you about, the town meeting had passed, is this historic district or historic, what is it called?
Yes, it's a National Register
Register.
Historic
Okay,
District.
and how's that going?
Well, because I haven't been doing anything, not too well, and I need some more people to research it's a little bit too much for the commission. We can get, I think we have 35 hours from PVPC that will pay for some of it. But it's pretty extensive, and if you don't know what you're doing, and I have tried to teach, but I don't think I'm a very good teacher.
Connie, I have an idea about that.
Yeah.
I'll touch base with you later about my
Oh,
idea for that.
good.
Something I was kicking around, so I don't know if it's possible, but
Oh, that's great.
I'll run it by you
I'm
at some point.
Happy to hear it.
Okay.
I thought of state rep and state senator, but I think this is, it's not going to be a big thing. I don't really think a lot of people are going to turn out. And the museum said that they've had anywhere from just 2 people to 200 people. So what do you guys think about?
I will be there.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, the state representatives, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to let them know, and then they can,
Okay.
This is gonna go on.
If they would like
fit
to
it in their
come.
schedule, they're welcome.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to do that until I had spoken with you. And, this is for Dalton, who's online. I was hoping he might be here. I got an email from him today, but I hadn't heard back, at least when I left the house. So there is one more thing. The key for the garden club to Academy Hall, you all agreed on it in the meeting, but I looked at that meeting online and you didn't vote. And so I'm wondering, do you need a vote to have a key made for the garden club?
Did we agree?
You all agreed in that meeting, but there was no vote taken.
I don't think we need a formal vote. I mean, it's a town building,
Yeah, but I mean,
the garden club is a town organization.
right, but what were they going in for? Just to have meetings?
To to use the room downstairs for the get-togethers, right?
Yeah, to get,
No, the
just
main
to
floor, I
get
mean,
in.
downstairs, yeah.
Yeah, not downstairs, but
Because
yeah, the main floor.
it's a real hassle and sometimes almost impossible to have someone go over to the police station, wait 15 or 20 minutes for somebody to come to the door, and then to have that person find the key. And it just seemed reasonable, and I had written out some stuff for how we would work it and how things would be to make sure that the building was secured every time that we left.
Not setting the alarm off, right?
Right, and not set the alarm off. But to have it'll be double checked. I mean, one person will do it and one person will be standing there watching them set the alarm, close the door, lock it. They will check the door again
the
to
head of
make
the garden club
sure it's
now?
locked. Huh?
Who's the head of the garden club now?
Lil Fedora. Lil Fedora
okay.
is our president now.
Well, have her wander in next week and chat with Bob, please.
I thought we had an agreement that Linda was going to give a key to the rear door so that they could use it when they needed to.
The rear door?
Rear door?
That's the,
Well,
There is
that's,
no
rear
that's
door.
the garage.
Yeah, I don't know
You-
why we,
Well, we do keep a few things in the cellar.
yeah. But if you have a key to the front door,
but-
you can walk down. and
But you
Oh,
open
they-
can
it.
get
Yeah.
down
way, too.
there, and because we don't have the tables, when we had those big heavy tables and
Oh,
they
yeah.
were down there,
Mhm.
we definitely needed that door
Right.
open, but now we would just like to store, like, we collect pots all year for the garden
Put that in
club
the minutes.
sale.
They're storing pot in the old academy.
No, not
People bylaw against
pot,
that?
John,
Could be, if
pots.
they don't buy it though. Yeah. All right, have her come and see Bob next week. Okay? For the
Okay,
key.
all right,
Super.
thank you,
right.
Bob.
We'll touch base on the event on the 25th.
it starts
Okay.
at 11, you said?
11?
It's 11 on the 25th.
Okay.
Okay, great, thanks, Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
Thanks, Connie.
Well, I hope people come to it. But if they do, they do. If they don't,
You know, what
they're
the hell.
busy.
Exactly. All right, we have some one-day permits.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
very
Connie.
much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I'm questioning the ice cream truck though. Time seems weird.
Noon to 1.
No, it expires, I don't know, the way it's written, expires noon to 1.
Permit expires June 24th, 2023 at noon to 1 PM. So it shouldn't say expires.
Yeah, I mean,
Permit.
Should be one.
Permit for.
right. Yeah,
Permit.
basically just cross off the 12 and just say expires at 1. Yeah. There we go. Right.
Right, so there's a permit VFW, 1-day alcohol license for annual pig roast on Saturday, June 17th from 12 noon till 12 midnight.
And they're inviting us, or is this just a permit?
This is just the permit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Move approval.
sure, why not? That was a second.
Aye.
And then another one for a birthday celebration on Saturday, June 24th from 12 noon till 12 midnight in the pavilion. Both of these are for pavilion.
How old?
Doesn't say.
No, I want to bring that up because we've turned down
Right.
high school graduations and,
Just like an 18-year-old or
Right,
16,
yeah.
sweet 16 or.
right. so-
One day birthday for 1 day at a birthday permit. Yeah.
Hmm? Right, exactly. So, right.
Yeah, we don't have that
What
information
date
here.
was it for?
Saturday, June 24th.
We have next
So we
week.
have next
We have
week.
next week to
Yep.
do that.
We get some clarification on that. So we're all good on the first one.
Yeah.
And then permit to operate a 1-day ice cream food truck. This is for the park, I'm guessing? For here?
It's the library's opening day of their reading.
Oh, the summer reading program.
Summer reading
Sure.
program.
Yep.
So she's.
Okay. So June 24th, expires at 1 PM or starts at 1 PM?
It expires at 1. It's from 12 to 1.
From 12 to 1, okay.
All right.
They're gonna ruin their lunch.
Oh,
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye. What else you got?
We do have the appointment things, so I don't know if they're technically required, why we got them here. I'd like to move approval of the list of officers, staff, as submitted to the town administrator for renewal of their appointments from July 1st, effective through June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
There was the chief, the officers,
Everybody's on the
the
payroll.
staff. Basically. Yeah, there you go.
You moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's your turn to sign. All right. Next, we have L. Jed Berliner Esquire.
Thank you for that illustrious introduction.
Well, yeah, please, pull yourself up to the mic.
Spared no words on it.
Right.
I'm here to offer a kosher blessing for the pig roast coming up.
Yeah, how appropriate.
Thank you.
I'm here because we seem to feel that there should be an equalization of application fees. It's $100 for the planning board, it's $75 for the zoning board, and it's just a feeling of, I don't know what the word is, but they should be the same, because it's the same kind of work involved, the same processing.
In
the
other
same
towns,
costs.
Jed, are they mostly the same?
Wilbraham, it's $100.
I mean, for both?
Yes.
So it's the same?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
great.
This was interesting because I remember 25 years ago coming before the Board of Selectmen at the time, including your father, and I asked for an increase. We were a lot more busy now. We're only 3 hearings a year. The $25 increase we're asking for is not going to have any effect on anything. But 25 years ago, we were busier. And John M. Flynn responded, either denying or cutting it drastically my request. And he said that enforcing the zoning law provides a great public service, and the town should shoulder the better part of that cost. It shouldn't be borne by the applicants. And that has stayed with me in 25 years of being here, because I thought that was profound, very wise. And I thought it was worth repeating tonight.
So you let that lay fallow for 25 years in your prior.
So are you saying if we vote to increase, we're not wise?
Or are you voting to decrease?
No. If we were to put the actual costs on the
Yeah,
applicant,
correct, yeah.
like we've seen with higher education, it would be unwise. And just this $25 increase is it's certainly modest. And it just has a sense of something, I'm still missing the word, but they should be the same as with the planning board.
And it follows suit with what other communities are doing, you said?
Yes, as best as we done the research, we haven't done a lot. It didn't seem worth that kind of effort. It's just more to have it the same as what planning board is.
The point can be
Same
made
across
that,
the board.
yeah, the point can be made that the cost doesn't go to offset the cost of doing the application, because you don't have a revolving fund.
No,
So this all goes, the money goes into the general fund. But you can also make the point, sorry, Dad, that this is not a right per se. You're asking for a variance, you're asking for an exception. So the diligence that the board is doing is needed. I mean,
well,
this is.
they have
the
a right
things in-
to ask.
To me, the planning board has a better argument for that type of thing, because you passed the zoning bylaws and you're exercising your right for it. The Board of Appeals is, you need to make a case why that hardship is there sufficient enough for the ZBA to rule in your favor.
I respectfully disagree. We do 2 things. We offer special permits, as planning board does, in addition to variance.
In addition to the variances, right?
When we do a variance, we're attacking
Oh, I know. I was on the board with you.
somebody's right to do with what they want, their own land, their own dirt. And for the town to say, no, they have the right to press the town for reasons, if you will.
I agree, but there's a reason. That's why you say, show us your hardship.
Yes.
What is it that's exceptional in your presentation that allows us to change what the voters have said for zoning? And there, like you said, there are plenty of good ways to do that, reasonable ways that 40A allows us to do, 40R even.
Yeah, 48.
Right.
We have vigorous and respectful debates between doing violence to the bylaw, is my phrase, versus a certain treasurer of this town who takes a different point of view about
Wow.
the town appoints through you, the board, to serve as an escape valve for situations that just don't fit.
Well, keep in mind, I was schooled by Dalton when I came on the ZBA. And you, that way, well, let me just tell you, you know,
I'm sorry, my hands are tied. I just can't do what you want.
but you feel good about it. When you said it.
He had a great way. Big shoes to
Why
fill.
do you said you're not as busy? What is it because of the bylaws have changed or because the whole, there's
Well, I like to think that we have a reputation of not being liberal with our variances. I like to think that. And I think the numbers bear me out. When I became chair in 1990 or so, there was a sudden shock in the change of the allowed variances. But going down to 3 a year is vastly different from what it was even 10 years ago. So I think there's an economy going on, that kind of reason.
I think also probably, remember you and I participated in the rewrite of the zoning.
Yeah.
And I think some of the things that perhaps shifted under the planning board
Yes.
oversight also led to that as well. You know, they were allowed now, in some cases, to put out a special permit as part of their review. That before it had to come to ZBA.
Very true. Very true.
So,
I move we approve an increase to $100 for the zoning board of appeals
effective July 1st.
effective July 1st.
Sure.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, it's always good to see you.
Always nice to see you.
Sorry?
Mr. Chairman, it's always good to see you.
It's good to be seen.
Better to be seen than viewed.
Right, exactly. Oh, as long as you're here, is there anybody on your committee that's actually up for reappointment? Oh, we good.
Not that I'm aware of. We have.
Bob, that was going to be on our agenda this month, right? Maybe next week?
Yep.
Right. So somebody must be expiring this year.
Careful of that choice of words.
Okay, thank you.
Term.
We
Term is expiring.
have a fantastic coordinator who used to be administrative assistant, and she takes care of all those needs and keeps me out of that loop. So I don't know if anybody's.
As far as
term
you
will be
know,
expiring.
the entire committee you oversee is enthusiastic about their job and would love to be reappointed.
Very true.
There we go.
Very true.
Second.
Aye.
See you in a decade. There. We appoint all the police officers.
Yep.
Gave them more money.
Yep.
Pam's not here, so
Can I bring up something here, or do we gotta wait till the end?
you said a thing, you want to talk about the cable.
Yeah, I wanna talk about the cable.
I'd like to, and I think you make a good point. Now, Craig has in the past asked Bob to contact Charter because we talked about the contract expiring, et cetera.
Right.
I think this needs to be an agenda item going forward. And Don, thank you for bringing it up. I think,
An ongoing
see-
agenda item, you're saying?
no, well, right now it needs to be a heavy agenda item.
Yeah.
We need to have a rep here. We need to have some answers. We see a lot of chatter on Facebook, which has been going on for months.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
that- But it seems to have stepped up.
Really this last
Right,
week.
right. I do agree with a couple of people made the point that in the summertime, yes, there is a wire issue that does happen. People who have gotten the change out on the boxes seem to be doing better. Therefore, why aren't they rolling that out through the entire town?
Everybody.
People are paying, I don't know what your bill is
I would say it's not a box issue on my end. I don't have a cable box, and I still have issues
for your internet part.
for an internet part, yeah.
We should get fiber.
Just saying.
So can we put that on the agenda for next week and let Bob get some research and get?
And you also want to see their records
Yeah, they have,
Copy of our contract, our current contract. the whole
and,
thing.
and their records of complaint for the last year.
Yep.
You said they allow that to go back 1 year
1 year.
Mhm.
for discovery or whatever.
Yeah, 1
Yep.
year,
Good.
available for 1 year.
Very good. Don, thank you for bringing that up. Do we have any incredible correspondence you're aware of?
No.
No. Okay, your report is on the back or separate?
I passed it out. It should
Right here.
be in your folder.
Next one over.
Oh, here it is.
Yep. There we go.
So I've signed the contract with Ty and Bond, sent it off.
Okay, just to be clear, there'll be a lot of things. That's the water.
Water.
Thank you.
Yes, for the
Engineering
water
study.
Yeah. engineering.
district extension.
Okay.
The job description, an ad for the administrative assistant to the fire department is prepared and has been advertised, posted on the website, June 21 deadline. I think we now have 4 applications.
Okay, and what I had emailed before, so you're not going to give them to the fire chief until you,
He has them,
now he has them?
yes,
Okay, but he didn't before.
no. Well, updating the board and committee handbook to reflect the Southborough case. Can you bring that up? I'm going to give you copies of it. I just completed that today. That's it, I think. Yeah. No, that's not it. It's the other one. The Southborough case, as I'm sure you are aware, set new rules for public meetings.
Left.
It's the one to the left.
Same one.
No,
That's the same one.
same one.
Now
No,
the
no,
one
no,
to the
no,
right,
the
now
now's
to the right. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
No, just go back. I had it set for
Oh,
conducting
yeah.
meetings.
Okay.
Conducting meetings. Now, there we are. You can scroll that up gradually. I'm going to give the selectmen a copy of it. This is the board and committee and commission handbook. And what we're trying to do is to provide instructions to boards and committees as to how to conduct their meetings in the light of the Southborough case, where a certain amount of rude behavior, which caused the woman to be ejected, was reversed by the Supreme Judicial Court. And so if you look at this language, we are certainly encouraging good behavior. And I think that's what the chairs of the committees will be saying. We encourage good behavior, peaceable behavior, and that's as far as you can go, unless someone takes action as opposed to speech. Action is not covered by this case. If you are disruptive to a meeting by some action that you take, that doesn't count. They can be ejected from the meeting. And also, as we point out towards the end, you can be actually summon a police officer. So I'll give you a copy of this to look over. I don't know if you want to make any changes, but essentially, these are the guidelines that are being considered by the Mass Municipal Association and will be conveyed to all the cities and towns with their recommendation. So,
Got some typos in there.
Yep. Constable or t'other.
oh, that's my, you
It
know,
didn't
my,
come up. Maybe
that
it's
automatic
something.
system sometimes
Other,
really,
T'other.
you know,
that's the cow's other.
No. You get that sure or t'other one. All right.
well, so I'm going to give you a copy of this. We'll fix it. I typed this up quickly
All right.
today.
Thank you.
And then we'll send it out to members and chairs of boards and committees. Wrote the letter to the governor. about the two bond issues, asking that the municipal earmarks be funded. Told her what we have for earmarks and try to make case quickly that these are important capital items for the town. Prepared a draft RFQ for the senior center expansion, and I'll do one for sidewalks too.
All right, but Gary had already done one for the senior center.
Oh, I don't have a copy of that.
Right, but again, he shared it with the committee at the last meeting, and they were,
We did.
yeah. So then he was gonna pass it, and he was gonna,
Well,
committee voted to say, okay, looks good, bring it to Bob,
Yeah.
and the two of you work on it.
Okay.
All right.
Most of the RFQ stuff.
But I
is more or
forwarded
less
yours
late
to him, and
anyway.
I think the two of you was just,
Yeah.
make it work out, yeah.
Um,
Again, the sidewalk thing, as I said to the board, I'm concerned. You put in a number for 1.3
Yeah.
almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Costs have gone up,
Yep.
and I really don't think we have a good handle on the stretch between the VFW and Bond's house,
mhm,
how much is going to be impacted by the river there.
Right.
How much
Mhm.
Concom, DEP,
Old box.
Army Corps, who knows?
Well, is the request for qualifications going to give us that information? Or
They'll
that?
give us what they would see the scope of the project being. They would
Okay.
come back and say, you're gonna need this, 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 and then we also might see,
All right.
oh
And
my
this is
gosh.
even more important now that we have the other grant
Mhm,
to design contingent on getting the bond funding.
right.
Government Study Committee has asked me to come and meet with them tonight. I don't know what their agenda is, but I'm going to go down there.
We have a meeting tonight?
Yes,
I was on the calendar, I didn't see it, okay.
it's on the calendar there. We have put in 2 one-stop grant applications for the water district expansion. It will cover at best 1/4 of that projected cost,
Mhm.
and also updating the master plan. I'm a little dubious about getting the money for the master plan since it would be 2 grants for the same purpose. And you have that template that I did.
Yep.
And also the EVIP grant.
Did that, go again, that's on putting in outlets or?
But it is a state grant
Mhm.
to put
Charging
in
stations.
EV charging stations.
Okay, where?
Well,
That's what we have to decide.
there was a lot of unhappiness about a suggestion that we put it here because of the need for parking. The director of the senior center said that they would welcome it over there.
Mhm.
This has been kind of a low priority because
Oh, do
they're
you,
looking to do an expansion, and I don't know what impact
you only
that's going
get
to have
one?
on parking.
do you only get one?
We would get a sum of money.
No.
It
Oh,
would-
okay.
It would then depend on
Which level?
what level we wanted.
Oh, I see.
We could put in 2 stations, 4 ports
Mhm.
for the grant. And we could put in 1, probably a level 3 with the grant, but not 2.
Mhm.
So.
The
I
level
think
3 is,
threes are.
level 3 is like the fast.
Fast
They're
charge.
the technology. In the car that I have, it takes 2 to 3 days if you use house current.
Oh
If
my
you use the
gosh.
so-called, that's level 1. Level 2, the better part of 7 or 8 hours to charge for a full charge for 300 miles. Fast chargers will do it in 25 minutes. So
Wow.
that's the technology that is going to prevail, I think.
Have you spoken to Long Meadow about getting a grant for your house or?
But, well, and I think, although we need public chargers, what most people do or are thinking of doing, put one in their garage. So if you charge overnight, you got 300 miles the next day. Most of us don't drive 300 miles a day. Yeah.
My son, over on Ware Road, they have electric vehicle, and that's pretty much when they get home, they plug in the next day,
Yeah.
they leave.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's probably not getting a full charge,
Yeah.
but it's also not starting from zero either. So
Well,
it's
yeah, I mean,
topping off every day.
Yeah, you top it off, you got a full charge usually in the morning.
Mhm.
So,
Just to piggyback off on that, we would set the rates too. They don't want to be open, we'd have to come up with a rate schedule.
yeah, well, we're not talking about providing the electricity
Right.
for free.
So how do they, is it,
Every
is it like
vendor
a
decides
coin
how
operated
much
thing or?
they're going to
Credit
charge
card.
per
Credit
kilowatt
card, is
hour.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
every vendor will decide how much they want to charge per kilowatt hour they take, whether you get it for 8 to 10 or 11 cents per kilowatt hour, and then you decide what you're going to sell it for. And there's a fairly wide spectrum here. I've charged my car for as little as $12 and as much as $34. So, and that just depends on privately owned charger stations and what they want to charge you.
It sounds like a lot, but then think how much it costs to fill the car up, so it's.
Yeah, well, sure.
Right. I said before, I wonder if the school might be an opportunity too. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not 4 or 5 electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles,
Yes.
down
The
there.
only thing with the school is if you're making them public chargers, they're not available to the public during the day at school hours. So it kind of defeats the
That's right.
purpose, 5 days a week, 8 a.m. until 3 p.m.
I know there are new schools where they're doing it, but actually that's
That's for staff.
more or less for
Right.
the employees.
Yeah.
And what do you do if we put 4 and there's 8 people, they're all fighting to get to the chargers? Maybe put them along North Road while they're lined up, waiting for pickup.
Yeah, charging line on, while they're waiting for school pickup.
That's only 2 more weeks to go?
Yeah, next week.
Sheesh. Hopefully there's a solution for
Well,
next year.
Then the following Monday, half day.
So they've sent out a message that town is approved. They would like to have the contract signed within 2 weeks.
What was the number? How much? Ballpark?
50,000, I believe.
Okay.
I think I just heard something somewhere that Tesla signed a deal with GM and Ford
Yeah, they are.
about doing the chargers
They're
for
going to
them
open
now.
up their chargers, which will then not only
Increase.
make Tesla some money,
Right.
but relieve the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tesla has good fast
Infrastructure.
chargers everywhere.
Okay.
Um,
And then a
And
list
that's
of,
the report. I have the list at the bottom of potential articles
what is
for
Green
the,
Meadow enrollment?
That's just a topic point.
Green Meadow enrollment. Yes, that's from that email that was sent out
That's the planning committee. I have a report on that.
from the,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
right, of very low enrollment.
So it requires a town meeting article?
No.
No.
That's why it's under town meeting articles. I'm like,
No, because
Yeah.
it's just, it's not worded right.
Okay.
There may have to be, it should say regional agreement.
that's what I would have expected.
Regional agreement, yeah.
Right, okay.
Right.
To deal with Green Meadow enrollment. Okay.
Or what the-
All right, thank you for the report, Bob. You want to give a quick recap?
Yeah, I'll give you this here. Give you that.
That's not a quick recap.
It's a very quick recap. I'll go
Double-sided.
quickly. Okay. No, so this is the,
You spelled utilization wrong.
oh yeah, okay. Fix that. Fix that.
Just let it go.
All right. This is what happens, Trish, trying to get it done. The,
He just wants to make sure we're reading it. That's why he left it in.
and there's 3 other ones, and
Oh, really?
if you get them all,
prize?
you get a prize.
Some of that teeth.
So the planning committee's been meeting just real quickly every 2 weeks since January 24th. And as you probably know, we've already met with, we've toured all the schools, and we've literally went to every school, every room, every closet, every boiler room, every janitor cubby hole to see what's going on there. And we've met with the administrators, the principals, school teachers, PTO leaders, special ed people, school councils. We met with the selectmen in the finance committee. The next step is that the superintendent is going to be sending a letter home to the, we started off with about 135 options. We've got it narrowed down to 12. It looks like we'll be moving to like 4 options in the next week or so. The superintendent will be sending a letter home to the parents and a survey to the community and to the students as well. And there'll be some community forums. So we've contacted the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, and they're willing to work with us on any changes to the regional agreement. And the steps to doing that are the planning committee has to make their recommendation to the Wilbraham Regional School Committee. the Hampden Wilbraham Regional School Committee has to vote on any proposed changes that they'd like to the regional agreement. They have to send it to the Board of Selectmen, and according to the regional agreement, the Board of Selectmen then shall put it on, those proposed changes on the next town meeting or a special town meeting, whichever comes first. And then a complete copy of the latest approved agreement, this is from the school committee, has to go to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education before it goes to the town for approval.
Oh, it's a 2-year.
You know, that, well, well, the problem is that if they need it done, if they want to get it done by this September of 2024, all this would have to be done by December 31st of this year. So whether that can happen or not, who knows?
So we were looking to try to get on something in October.
Yeah, I think they'd like to do that. Both towns have to have town meeting, special town meetings coming up. They haven't put the scheduled date. So the current thing now is that the projected enrollment for grades 6 through 8 at Green Meadows for September 2024 is 2 students in 6th grade, no students in 7th grade, and 4 students in 8th grade.
Because everyone's usually transfers
Everyone's transferred to the Wilbraham Middle School.
or private.
Or private, or done something else, right? Wilbraham Middle School is overcrowded. Miletree and Stony Hill Elementary Schools are overcrowded. The high school, Green Meadows, and Thornton Burgess are underutilized. One of the issues that was raised is that if Thornton Burgess is reopened, there would have to be work done in there to have it be brought up to standards.
Why?
It's been open as a school, so it doesn't need.
Right, why, and I saw that part there. They were supposed to mothball it, which they didn't have to because they kept it open for.
Because it would be because they're only using certain rooms. The rest of the rooms are, no one's using them. So they would have to look at, so the question is, if there's extensive, if renovations are needed to bring it up to standards, and the Department of Education, Secondary would have to look at that, then that cost, if there's a cost to it, would fall solely on the town of Hampden.
Okay, and that part of the lease agreement is correct. However, I just cannot in my mind see how something would have, if it's just sitting there, short of needing dusting, et cetera, would have changed its purpose in a schoolroom from before.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Right.
They have to go in there.
No, I think you're to bring it up and say, just be aware.
Right.
Potentially.
Potentially, and they don't know. They're gonna, part of the thing the superintendent is gonna do is have someone go in and take a look at it and say, what needs to be done. I mean, it may just be painting some walls or something, or, cleaning the floor or something. I don't know. So, but that's something that should be brought up. So that's where we are. So the next step is probably to get it down to 4 options and present those to the school committee, and then they'll have to decide if they want to do something or not do it. If they hope to get it done by the September 2024 school year, it has to all be done by December 31st, with a kind of an ambitious schedule. So
Typically, this sounds like a big thing that we typically don't do at a fall town meeting. That might be, we're gonna
Well,
really have to publicize it big.
yeah, and I look back on that, and the other times when they reorganization changed, they were all at special town meetings.
No problem with attendance.
No, one was 957.
I think it's very important, though, that we address the issues, because we know that there's going to be potential staffing and enrollment issues.
Enrollment, yeah.
And again, I think it's been brought up in the past that whatever the outcomes are, both communities need to put their differences aside and think of strictly just for the children, what's best for the kids.
I watched your other meeting the other night, Don. I have to say, your group does a great job. Where you had the parents in.
Yeah, they do. They're really, and the one thing I've noticed that in all the groups that we've had in that, people understand that they when they look at it, they understand there's a need to do something. We got big picture. We got to figure this out some way. We're all in this together. All the kids are in this together, and there's not negativity like.
It's not tribal.
Right, it's not tribal. It's not negativity. It's not tribal like and they really worked hard at it. They were,
Just on that topic, there's something I brought up to the superintendent in conversation. Based on the plans that were presented to us at that meeting we had with both communities,
Yeah.
the selectmen. And I was, questioning, the option there to open TWB or close Wilbraham Middle. And there were some thoughts I was thinking of there, and just based off what we see here on North Road with the traffic issues at Green Meadows, I thought maybe a traffic study and some such between the two middle schools would probably, give a lot of valuable data that we haven't seen.
All right.
How are the road conditions? How is the traffic backups? So on and so forth between the two schools, just to get more data points for
right.
whatever decision comes down the
I'll bring it
road.
up at the next meeting.
He did say that he can't authorize traffic studies in the towns. It would be up to each town selectman to authorize a study. So, we in Hampden would think, we could facilitate a traffic study here. Wilbraham Selectmen could facilitate a study on their end.
No, I think
Just
they-
something pass that to you. You can bring that up.
When's your next meeting, Don?
Well, I think they probably were gonna schedule it for the 20th, but I have to ask them to change that because I think both boards of selectmen are meeting on the 20th as well.
Oh, on Tuesday?
The holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the holiday, yeah. So probably the 21st, be the 21st. That's my report on that.
I did reach out to Wilbraham. I think I mentioned to you before. I think it'd be nice to have a meeting with the Wilbraham Board of Selectmen. They are on a bi-weekly schedule, much like we are, and it's the same weeks we're meeting. I was kind of hoping that they'd be meeting a week that we're off. Yeah. Looks like the only one they are meeting, we're not meeting, is August 28th. Hang on here. Yep, 28th. As we had talked about the 7th, the 14th, I believe. And then right after Labor Day would be the next meeting. So not that there's anything pressing, but I'd like to pencil it in there. I think it'd be nice to go over and chat with their board.
Do we have any, well, not that it matters on our end, but I know there was a recount going on this past weekend in Wilbraham.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that affects anything on their end.
Didn't hear any result. But I bet if you check Facebook.
Try to stay off of that now.
All right, so we signed the permits except for the one we're going to verify.
Birthday party, right.
Right. There'll be somebody in my age or Don's age, and then there's no reason to keep it open until 12 at that point.
No,
Right?
no.
Right. All right, so we passed a couple things next week. We're really going to jump on top of the cable thing. Jane, you're off next week? And Pam's back, okay. All right. The closing date for the fire admin is, you said the 20th, 21st?
21st.
What was it?
21st.
21st. Which is- Okay, next Wednesday. So you're looking to review those with the fire chief, possibly
Jane.
Jane as well?
The three of us will review them and come up
And-
with
And you're back when?
several recommendations for the selectmen.
Back on the 26th.
Okay, so you probably wouldn't have that done then for our meeting on the 26th, because Jane's not back until the 26th, so the following week you might have some,
Well, it depends on how many applications we get. If we
we have four
If we
already.
get have four, it's not going to take a lot of work to,
No, it's not, but I
go
mean, you're
through.
talking, okay, Jane's back to work on the morning 26th.
Right.
Eddie's at his job
yeah,
during the day,
yeah.
So you're going to present to the board the following week, which is in July.
Yeah.
Technically, Jane's gone at that point.
Yeah.
I would bet, Jane, she would carry on. If it took a day to get a new person, she'd be like, fine.
What if we can arrange it so that we can discuss it on the morning of the 26th?
If you can get Eddie, then that's great. Yeah, great.
Then we can put it
Yeah,
on.
right. Are you planning some overlap or something, give her a little training or person training or something like that?
That's why I did it in July, John, so that I'd be here and still available,
Mhm.
however long that person
Right.
needed to feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yes.
And you want to know that too, look over the skill set anyhow, right, yeah, okay.
Not going anywhere.
John, do you have anything to bring up? No, sir. Big meeting tomorrow? Oh, it did? No, it's not.
It's just a reoccurring meeting. There's no agenda posted.
Okay, great. Anything else to come before the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Safe week.
Aye, aye.